Today we focus on the posterior chain. Now your posterior chain, as you can see here, from the anatomy from the body it's the back section of the body. We're talking about anything from the Achilles right up to the back of the neck. The rear section of your body is key. So as we focus on that, why is that important for running? Well, plain and simply, as you run, you drive through the back of the body to move forwards. Your key posterior chain is the power section that allows you to push off and accelerate through your running motion. So that is also an area that gets impacted through running and therefore comes under shortness, tightness, if you are to run faster, for longer, or increase your general training volume. So for that reason, we focus on re-lengthening those areas with a mobility workout. And we start off with a check-in. We place your feet around about 1 meter apart. You place your hands on top of each other, and we have a single leg posterior chain check-in, specifically for the hamstrings, that middle to back of body motion. Hands come on top of each other at the top of the leg. They lean forwards with your toes facing forwards to draw a line with both sets of fingers on top of themselves. You're going to draw a line to where you're starting today. Now that is the point in which you get to with a biting aspect, so you're leaning towards it and it feels like you can't go any further, or one of your hands moves beyond the other. Head over to the other side, again, toes facing forwards, lean down, keeping your knees straight, and as you get to that biting point, the point in which it feels like you can't get any further, draw a line. Take note of where they were. For example, as you've seen with my leg here was a little bit further. I was able to stretch a little bit close towards my sock line, and on this side it was a little bit shorter. That tells me that one side has maybe been working a little bit harder in my training volume at this stage. Fantastic. We're then going to wake these up a little here, and we're going to start off with a deep squat into a straight leg. So you're going to push your bum back, bring your elbows low as far as you feel comfortable to go, and then you're going to drive the knees back, straightening with a forward lean through your shoulders and body. Try not to curve the spine by pulling the belly button in, shoulders slightly together, and by doing this one, coming low and straightening out, down and straightening out. You add in your arms now, elbows low, hands low. Elbows low as the knees come down, hands low as the knees come higher, and straight out. This will stretch out the back and the top of your hamstrings, as you've got an overextension here through the hamstrings onto the hips. And it will also allow your quads to tighten a little bit, right? Last one. Quads here are responsible for bringing your heels back towards your bum. So in that stage of the running motion, that first stage here, and all you need to do to wake those up is kick those legs back. They're important for your posterior chain. Although they are not in the posterior chain, they work eccentrically and they work as an antagonist with your hamstrings in that central section. So they need to be loose and controlled to allow the teamwork between them and the hamstrings to function. When your hamstrings shorten, your quadriceps lengthen. When your quadriceps shorten here, your hamstrings lengthen. So it's really key to keep those in sync. Anyway, enough chat on those. Let's gather some chickens. What I mean by that is toes come up, we gather those through in this simple motion where we change legs in between. So other leg, heel comes down, toes up, legs straight, hands behind the body, and as if you are gathering chickens through, you change over, other side, and move through. This is an exercise that is really good to do because it flows through a dynamic motion, really working from the insertion section, the head of the hamstrings, right through to the origin of those two, origin to insertion and vice versa. Fantastic, moving through those. Brilliant. We have our leg swings next. As you stand straight through, using a wall or chair for balance, and just kick that leg forwards in front of you, showing the sole of the foot, and then back behind you, and repeat. Next up, we focus on the glutes, and we do some activation exercises. Now, this mobility exercise that we're driving through here looks to lengthen the muscles. The activation looks to prepare the muscles for the impact ahead. Change sides. Place your hand onto your hip to prevent any forwards-based movements and backwards movements with this. Keep them still and rotate just your lower body. So from your hips upwards, you're nice and still and neutral. and then the legs are moving through this motion to ensure that the lengthening takes place of that muscle to benefit you and reduce the risk of injury, which is the key reason we're doing this. Lovely job. Okay, now we're going to focus on that glute activation. It starts off here by leaning onto a wall, keeping your body nice and tall, and just extending that leg behind the body. If you think about your running gait, this is the motion that allows you to have that push off the floor. The glutes are responsible for that acceleration. The further and the more aggressive, let's say, assertive drive back that you have, the more you have through the glutes. Just test placing your hand at the top of the buttocks, round to the side. Can you feel a contraction as you extend that knee behind you, extend that leg behind you? If so, you're doing this correctly. If you feel that there's too much pressure on that standing leg, just change over. We're all going to do that anyway now. Hand over to the other buttock, feel that stretch and push back. A great way to get the glutes activated before a run with very little space needed. So it's a great one to do leaning over onto a tree or something like that at a park run, or by a bench or wall and a race event that you have. And I'd recommend 8 to 12 reps on either side just to get those firing and moving from there. That's how we drive the main glute, the glute max. To work on the more medial muscles like your glute med that are responsible for reducing the risk of the twisting, the overpronation through your foot, you bring your toes out to your side, heel in, and you just extend it out to the side laterally. It's really important that your toes are facing diagonally forwards with your heels coming into the instep as if they're drawing like a J. So it starts off with a T and it has a little bit of a twist at the top because your toes are out. Good. Lovely. Now point your toes in. There's a light bend of the knee from the standing leg to take the pressure off the foot and the leg itself. And point your toes into the instep of that standing leg. Now firing into the lateral side of the glutes. And importantly here, the lateral side of the glute med. Brilliant. We're going to change over to the other side. I'm going to spin it round here. I'm going to show you here as you point your toes in. I'll show you a slightly different angle. Here we go. Toes are coming in. We're driving through that movement. Good work, guys. Lovely. Last two. Again, with this one, I'd focus on no more than 8 or so with these motions. Toes out, heel coming in. 8 to 12 is the focus on the activation. Normally zone into the 8 as it makes it nice and simple. With that in mind, we come through here to the final 2. Keep it slow and controlled. Heel in, toes out. Last one. Brilliant. Okay. Shake out those legs. Be nice and low into a deeper squat. Push your knees out side by side. Just getting a little bit of mobility into these, rocking side to side. Good work. Okay, we focus now onto the back. A key part of this posterior chain as it allows your postural movement to start from the upper body and move through the lowers. So we're going to start off with your hands in front of your body. We're going to follow one hand with the other hand staying in front of you. The hand that moves is the one that we follow. That one hand in front of you, the other hand opens up your back, comes back through and creates a chain reaction for the other side. Back as far as you can go, get a bit of mobility into the neck and opening the top of the back. Lovely. We now place one hand forwards, bring the other hand onto the wrist and repeat onto the other side. We're going to drop your chin down to your chest, so you're looking down towards your toes, and you're going to really stretch out the extended arm to feel that stretch through the top of the back. We then head down towards the ground and we utilize some exercises for your mid to lower back too. Place everything out the way to give yourself a bit of balance. Head down to the ground slowly and lie down onto your back. Bring your arms out to the sides there. Drive your knees in here. Relax your head to the floor or onto a little cushion if you need a little bit of more comfort today. And drop both knees down to one side, maintaining your hands and your shoulders on the floor. Brilliant work, guys. Side to side. Good. Lovely. The knee that heads down onto that same side, the one that's closest to that side, is the primary focus. The one that follows is the one we're going to concentrate on here. So that primary gets down, and then we're going to concentrate on the top one, which is going to be more of a secondary zone. First focus, knee down, other leg follows. You're going to use the same hand on that side to drive that knee down. Get a little bit more of a stretch through that. Holding it down for just 1 second. Good work. Fantastic, guys. Next up is our hamstrings. Staying present and focusing on what we're doing. Going into the last 2 reps here. Brilliant. Okay, place your feet down. Hands onto your hips, belly button into spine. Hands above your chest here. You're going to kick your legs back so you can see your toes surpass those fingers. Fantastic. Nice and relaxed here. You're doing great, guys. You're doing fantastic. Posterior chain releasing really well as we come into the final couple of minutes of the stretching here. Calves to follow. Right now, one hand underneath, straightening out that hamstrings. So that's the area here. Stretching out the knee by pushing the back of the knee away from the body, toes up high, heel up into the sky. And what I want you to do now is point your toes up towards the sky or ceiling. And then pull those toes back, pushing your heels high. This might feel like a rusty sort of stretch through the back of the lower limbs here. That's completely normal, as this also activates and wakes up, lengthens the nerves that flow from your feet up towards your hips, that have that relationship with your brain to tell your feet to move, adapt, run faster, watch out for that hole, etc. and so forth. Proprioceptor the angles that it needs. So keep this moving. I want you to slow down this motion, focusing on the range of motion from your toes really high down towards your heel high and toes towards your shins. Great work. By slowing down that motion, you can increase the range of motion between those 2 points, and it stretches out your Achilles, your plantar fascia, your calves. Now, everybody is different. You'll feel it in different areas because of genetics, training volume, training intensity, running gait, and so forth. But these key areas that I share with you that you may be feeling are the ones that typically found in these stretches. Brilliant work. Squeeze that knee into your chest. Stretch out the other leg away from the body and bring that knee towards your shoulder. Amazing. Well done. Relax that leg down. Bring your hands up above your body and compare your left to your right as you kick these back out. As you start to stretch a few more, do you notice that one is feeling a little bit looser than the other? Or are they both about the same? Maybe one was tighter when you did your check-in at the beginning of the session, and now they're leveled back up. Going to head over to the other side, hands underneath, straighten that knee out, and start off with that straight leg hamstring stretch. When you're ready, point your toes up towards the ceiling, and then slowly bring it back. The first few, again, might feel a little rusty, but this is exactly what we're doing today, is we're mobilizing the joint, getting some more movement into these. You're doing fantastic, and it is great to have you here. Brilliant. Slow that motion down. Toes towards shins. Toes towards ceiling. As the toes come towards the shins, the heels come high. Repeat that motion. Feel that stretch out through the back of the legs. Again, the posterior chain, the accelerator, the power motion through your running gait is getting a little bit of love here. It's getting a little bit of motion and re-lengthening. It's getting ready for the next training session or race. Well done. Maybe it's recovering from the last. Brilliant. Last one, nice and low, point to the ceiling. Knee into chest, squeeze up towards your chest, and again, stretch out the other leg to increase this motion. Pull that knee up towards your chest and then to your shoulder. Brilliant work, guys. Fantastic stuff. Bring both knees in here. Give them a bit of a hug. And then just rotate your knee joints around. Getting that movement here at the top of your legs into the hip joint. Change direction just to free up some of those tendons that connect the bones from the legs right into the joint itself. Well done, guys. Now we focus here onto the glutes. We're going to slowly sit up for us. You're going to place one leg straight in front of you, and dynamically we're going to lightly pull the knee across your body. So again, this motion here, you've got one leg straight, this leg comes across and brings close towards the body. You're going to hold the outside of the knee and just going to pull that towards your chest, feeling a stretch on the outside of the glute here. Lovely work. Brilliant. We have a level 2 stretch that we can progress to shortly. We're going to just change over to keep it on the level 1 for the moment. One leg across and putting this through, just activating and waking this up here. The level 2 stretch isn't for everybody, as we bend that knee shortly. So if you find that is a little bit too much of a motion on your glutes today, then stay with that level 1 and keep that leg straight. But test this out to get started, bending that front knee, one across, and then leaning forwards, holding the outside of the knee and pulling this across to your shoulder. You can place one hand behind. You'll notice that one of your buttocks, one of your glutes is off the floor. Drive that down towards the ground and pull this across here. So this knee is heading over towards the opposite side's shoulder. Again, if this feels too much, go back to the straight leg and utilize that as a dynamic stretch. Brilliant work. Change over, other side, and again with the straight leg, look to change over to the other side if you're there too. Glute drives down to the floor. Pull this across into a static stretch. Feel that drive and stretch out the glute itself. Good stretch, right? Lovely. If your hips are twisting too much, stick with the level 1. Well done, guys. Fantastic. We're going to spin it round onto our fronts here. Hips come nice and high. We push the heels into the floor. By doing this, we straighten out and we lengthen the calves, a really important part here of your mobility. Well done, guys. Walk those feet in. Feel more of a stretch as the heel comes to the floor. Walk them back, releasing. Brilliant. Slowly walk them in. Walk your hands in and stand up. We place our feet out to the side, just catch your breath for a moment, and we finish off with our check-in. Feet just over shoulder width apart, hands on top of each other, zoning into that stretch, keeping nice and neutral to where you started today, and look to see if you can compare that. That was significantly different from me, going from the top of my sock line down to the floor. Did you progress? We're not done yet. Let's try the other side. Have they matched up? Or maybe have they progressed even further? Again, to the floor. Not only have mine matched up, but they have progressed both significantly to reach the floor. What that means now is that my posterior chain is more ready to perform, has recovered more effectively in terms of lengthening, and I'm raring to go. So let's get running. See you later, guys.